Hey 21 Day Crew, today is day 3. We're calling this workout the underbellies. It's parts of your body that are just very hard to work. The underneath of the tricep, the armpit, the inner thighs, all right? For those of you men that are joining us, if you're not too concerned with your inner thighs or the underneath of your arms, then every single time we do this, I need you to do push-ups, all right? Stick with me. Hey team, we are starting with core today. As I mentioned in the description, oftentimes we're doing a workout and we leave all the ab work till the end of the workout. So I'm starting with core work so you can work on your posture and keep your core nice and strong throughout the workout. Our first one is, as we've been doing, a little arch in the back, lifting our feet off the ground, and you're just doing a simple crunch. You're working the upper rectus abdominis. So you're squeezing, your eyes are on the ceiling, and you're leading with your chin. We're gonna do a slow bicycle kick here. You're trying to extend that leg down closer to the ground. Keep it about 1 to 2 inches off of the ground and really trying to reach that elbow over to the other knee, working the obliques and the intercostals. Keep going. You're just going from side to side. Nice, easy turn. If this bothers your back in any way, you can put one foot on the floor, bringing the knee in, and then the other foot on the floor, bringing the knee in. Otherwise, starting with your feet on the floor and bringing the knee in. Make sure that your back is always nice and strong. Don't overdo it because this is day 3, so we want to be careful. This next one is a reverse curl. So you're extending your legs, pressing them up toward the ceiling. I'm keeping a bent knee. I'm always very protective of my back. If you want to add into it, you can lift your neck, although there is no support for your neck if your hands are underneath your tush. This time we're gonna do what's called a deadlift. You're taking those feet down and up. Again, it looks like we're doing about 20 reps, so anywhere between 8, 12, 20 reps. Your feet are touching the ground and you're focusing on the lower belly. Tuck those abs underneath the elastic in those shorts, tights, pants, pajama pants, whatever it is you got going on today. The next exercise is a side twist plank. So you want to be very careful here when you start out your adjustment. You want to make sure that that elbow is right underneath the shoulder. If this is not comfortable to you to raise your hips, go ahead and drop your hips down to the ground. We're going to do it one more time. If you want to raise yourself up with your arm, that's an option too. We're going to take that elbow down to the hand as close as we can. Keep those abs in nice and tight. As far as the underbelly here, this is working the underneath side right at your love handle area. So focus on keeping those hips up if you can, taking that elbow down. The next exercise, if you have a tube handy, use the tube. If not, don't worry about it. The focus here is that your legs are very close together, not hip width like I normally do. And I really want you to focus on squeezing the inner thighs hard. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to all the way to your tush. You want to squeeze it so hard like you could hold a credit card in there. That's how tight you want it. We're going to pulse it down here, sit it all the way back, little pulses for 10 to 20. This next one is a lunge switch. Really focusing on those legs, the tush, the inner thigh muscle, bringing those legs back together and switching feet. Good. This next one, we're going to sit into a squat with weights if you want, or you can just sit it all the way back. Again, the goal is to really squeeze the inner thighs. I've got my heels elevated on 2 plates. It's an option for you. It really helps me get my hips back. Now we're going to do this again. So my feet are elevated and you're sitting back into the squat. Again, squeezing all the way through the inner thighs, all the way up through your tush. Hold that credit card. Now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna do a deadlift, working the underneath. So there's something called your gluteal fold. It's right where your butt meets your hamstrings. We're trying to really lift on the up, squeezing and lifting the butt cheeks up off the back of the thigh. And it should not be on the back of the thigh. Side view. You're coming up almost all the way up. You're just focusing really literally on the hamstring up to the glute. This next one, my tube's not taut. You can use a weight for this, but I'm trying to utilize the tube to bring it in for a bicep curl. The beauty of this is that when you bring it in for the bicep curl and you extend it out and you have resistance, you're actually also working the underneath of the triceps. So the goal is to really keep this muscle tight as you're pulling it in. When you release it, squeeze the back of your arm. Now we're working the waist again. So you're bringing that tube from side to side. You're getting a little bit of a back row here as well. So squeeze right where you have what we hate to call also the bra fat. So pull side to side. This next one is a little bit of a raised lunge. So you can't see my foot, but it's raised up on the back of the cycle bike, maybe 2-3 inches. You do not have to use weights. I'm just engaging that tricep as I come back, and I've really kept that glute lifted and high as I go down and up. Lean it back just a little bit and squeeze that glute. Now, I've got my foot up on a Bosu ball. You may not have a Bosu ball handy. If you can raise it up off of the floor, maybe on a couple of books, the goal is to get your hips back and you're really feeling, again, that adductor muscle, the inner thigh. Get those hips way back, and you're also working that left leg from a back view. You're sitting back, you're pulling up. Again, squeezing the glutes. I'm doing a little bit of a bicep, tricep. You do not have to do the arms on this, but we're day 3. If your arms are getting tired, do it with or without weights. Now, this one's a little trickier. I'm working with the ball, so I have to sit back, pull the ball in, and push it back. You do not have to use the ball. If you can put your foot maybe on the edge of a coffee table, that won't fall over on you, of course. Roll the foot from back and forth. It's just a different move. You got a little bit of the quad, a lot of the inner thigh, and a lot of that back of the thigh. You can see here from the back view exactly what it's working. You see my hamstring firing back there? That's a good place to have it work. It's a great balance move as well. Now we're taking a glider, and I mentioned in the description that you can use a towel or a paper plate on carpet if you don't have the glider. I've got the biceps and triceps really going and firing hard today, doing an inner outer. So when the weights come in, bicep. When the weights go out, tricep. And then we're taking that leg out, focusing on balance, and doing a lateral raise. It's difficult to come down and grab that glider, the plate, the towel, whatever you've got, and pull it back in. That's the hard part. Sitting back into the squat, dragging that leg back in. We're going to switch sides. Here we go with the squat, the lift, the grab, and the in. Make sure those weights don't go higher than your shoulders, guys. This next one, I'm taking a tube and I'm doing the inner outer thigh. You do not need to use a tube for this. I encourage you to then put your hands underneath your low back to lift your hips up a little bit. Keep those feet flexed and really squeeze the inner thigh on the in. To the plie squat. Major inner thigh to the outer thigh. Squeeze. We're doing an anterior delt with the arm. This weight is that 7.5 pound weight that I think I've had since the 80s. Swing it and squeeze it. Swing it and squeeze it. Do not take that weight higher than your shoulder. We're going to take it down and pulse it. An option here, keep your heels down or lift your heels off the ground. And I'm just kind of stretching it from side to side. Watch that knee doesn't go too far over the ankle, but you're going to be feeling those quads. We're going back to the plie and the lift a little bit quicker, really focusing on that 2 to 3 inch up into the back of the arm. So a lot of my clients will say the backs of their arms are getting a little flabby. So we're focusing hard on the back of the arm. This is a one arm tricep. And then while you've got it all the way up, press it up and through. You're going to feel this through your trap and your rhomboid in your back. To the other tricep, squeeze on the up. Hold it and lift with a straight arm back. Anywhere between 8, 10, and 12 reps, depending on the size of weights you have. This next one is a skull crusher. You're going to try to keep your elbows forward. You can do this with one weight, one hand on each side of the bell. You want to squeeze and push through that back of the arm on this exact exercise. I'm using a body bar. It's about 15 pounds. You want to be careful with those elbows, and then just to add a little extra bonus here, I'm doing some bicycle kick legs. Big, strong abs while you're doing this. This is a little unique. We're going to pull the bar to the chest and press it out. So you're working a bunch of parts here. You've got the under part of the tricep, and there's something at the armpit called the axillary muscle. We tend to gather fat right there, so I'm really pushing up and through. Then we're going to do a reverse curl bicep, but it's a tricep exercise. It's a little bit of both. You're really just exhausting that tricep at this point. We're going to finish this off with working again the middle of the body through the back. So this is a plank with a tilt. I want you to try to do as many as you can. Stop, do an upward facing dog to stretch your back if you need to, or sit into child's pose. That's when you sit back onto your feet and reach your arms out in front of you. Keep tilting, come back into the position, try it again, and then if you need to stretch through, stretch through. The goal is to make sure those shoulders are above your elbows, and I want you to feel your back nice and strong. Push yourself forward just a little bit, and you'll feel that you can do even more. Just keep pushing and keep rolling through it. If you need to stretch, stretch. Oh, you guys did day 3. You're amazing. And that's it. Be fit. See you tomorrow.